game more clearly with high-definition spectacle lenses from Norville Opticians.
David, back to the league, and I suppose they don't come much bigger, do they?
It's going to be a huge test for us. The last couple of weeks have been a little bit of almost preparation. We've managed to give some players a rest, get some players some game time. So we're in good shape going into what is going to be an incredibly tough run of games over the course of the next 10 weeks. And as you said, Leicester this weekend, we haven't been able to look much beyond that. It's a huge test. A team that has been going very well. They've obviously were successful last year, top four, but they've added new real attacking threat to their game with some obviously changing coaches and some new players. So they will be a big test for us.
And in terms of players being away from the Six Nations, I mean, obviously Gloucester faring better than Leicester are at this stage.
Depends how you want to look at it. We would love to see more of our players representing their countries at an international level. Everybody's aspiration is to play international rugby. All players, they want to represent their country. But for us going into the next 10 weeks, we've said all throughout the season the depth of our squad will be tested. So we'll benefit from the fact that some players who we thought might be away will be involved over the course of the next few weeks.
And with that, is there extra emphasis on the likes of Greg to sort of give it one last hurrah for Gloucester before the Six Nations?
I don't think you really look at it like that. For Greg, his focus now very much switches into captaining Scotland into their Six Nations campaign, but he knows that during some of the weeks he'll be required back here, depending on how we're going. But I think it's one of the areas that we've real strength in our squad with Willie Hines now coming in. He'll play a big role over the course of the next 10 weeks. And also with Callum Braley and the experience that he's going to get, we know how the potential that he has, and these next few weeks will give him that opportunity to play at the highest level.
Obviously, if you can get a win, that's brilliant. Just give you a bit of momentum as you're just outside the top six at the moment. But if you can get something against a top four side like Leicester, then that's something really to build on, isn't it?
It's been the case really since the start of the Premiership. This year there's been a lot of results. Teams winning one week, losing the next week, which has kept it very, very close in that middle of the table. And we've said that one or two wins can move you right up. One or two losses can take you down a few spots, and that's where the pressure comes. We've talked about it. We've played 15 games this season. We've only lost 4 times. So we're in a good place in terms of statistically. What we've got to do is bring a consistency to our performance to ensure that going into a game this week, then into Bath, then into Harlequins, every week it gets bigger and bigger. And it's going to be a challenge for us, but one that, with the work that's been done, we're pretty, as you said, we haven't been affected too badly by the Six Nations. We're in good shape for going into that run of games.
In terms of players returning this week, what sort of shape are you in?
With some players who have been out long term, who are getting close to end, but this will be a week probably too early for them. John Afoe has been back in training this week, but again, it might be a week too early for him to play, just with the nature of the injury that he had. We want to make sure that looking forward as well as the short term, we've got to make sure we've as many people on their feet as we can get. Apart from that, we're not in bad shape compared to some other clubs at this stage of the season.
In terms of the momentum that Europe's given you, I mean, has that just sort of boosted the squad a little bit going back into these Premiership games, that actually 6 from 6 and job done again in Europe?
It's hard to know really what impact it has going forward. As players, as a squad, you get confidence from winning. That builds up belief within the squad, and that's the one thing I just think our team lacks a little bit, the belief to know how good they can be. And winning those games, I think we're now 15 games unbeaten in the Challenge Cup. That has provided a really good preparation for these next few games. As I said at the start, we've had some players who've needed rested in preparation for 10 games in a row. We've some players who've got some game time who we will undoubtedly have to call upon over the course of the next few weeks. So yes, there's been a lot of elements that have been positive about it, but that's now parked. We've achieved our goal. We've won our pool. We've got a home quarter final. It's 10 weeks away. With the games that are coming up now, we can't even really think about that. So our focus now is hugely on the Premiership. Our focus is obviously very much this week in Leicester and getting ourselves as well prepared as we possibly can be for what we know will be the challenge that they will throw at us.